Hello, welcome to the Economy Today on Kaftan TV. OKECHUKWU here. The point is that the most important thing is to look into the facts that have to do with the economy of the land and how it affects you, my dear viewer. And that's the purpose for which we're here, to reach out to you in that way. And so I plead with you that that you stay with us, and I assure you that your time will not be wasted. At the end of the day, you'll be glad you did stay with us. Well, on the program this day I have a guest, but usually we have aspects of the program that we will bring to you. We always will have our news bits, we have our discussion, and of course, put it in a summary, we say we do the interviews, we do the reviews, we do the previews, and we bring the news. So these are the summarized form of the things you see on the program. And so this day's edition is still going to be the same like every other. Do stay with us and enjoy every bit of it. I have a guest, and that guest is TOBA OWOJAIYE, and I will tell you about him that I have been with him on another platform, and I enjoyed every bit of what he brought forth. So that's the major reason for which he's there today, because I would want to enjoy what will come from him again on the program. And but before you see him, normally we talk about the fact that we have something we want to bring up even as we go on. We want to begin with this, and this time let's look at the stock exchange and the oil market. Yes, on the stock exchange we have the normal petrol price in Africa story that we just checked and considered. But all the same, let's look at it for now. Okay, let's just take the stock exchange first of all. All shares index has improved beyond what it was the last time, and there is 0.52%, 92% of 117.837.68 points. Then the value that value that was traded happens to be 799.7 million, all in naira. Then the volume of stocks that is changed hands yesterday that came forth is 386 million, and the market capital is 74.3 trillion naira. That's the overview of all that happened at the stock exchange, and talking about the share indexes that came up. And going into a bit of the specifics, we'll see that there are top traders and there are gainers, top gainers, as well as top losers. So let's find out. We have the top gainers. Well, the top three, that's it, the active traders. We have a custodian trading 9.9 million, Fidelity Bank trading 5.09 million, and Sovereigns trading 3.2 million. These are the top traders. And some people made gain. Before we talk about the decliners, there are gainers. And I know that there are some names we have among the gainers that we need to mention first. there are gainers. Let's look at the gainers before the decliners, right? Can we look that way? Okay, in the absence of that, let's just go on with the decliners. Okay, the top gainers, we have Deep Cap doing 0.09 points, and the percentage is 10%, while Legend International has 0.68 with all on the positive. Of course, that's why they are gainers in the first place, 9.44%. We have Mayor coming up with 0.55 points and making a gain of 6.08%, while Guinea Insurance has 0.04 with a gain of 5.80%. That's what we have among the top gainers. Now we can look at the decliners and to see what they have. FCMB, Interbrew, Lasaco, and Custodian. These are the ones that were among the top decliners. Not just that they are the only decliners, but among the main decliners, they are top. And FCMB losing with 0.50, and the percentage is 5.05%. Interbrew percentage is 4.09%, and Lasaco 4.04%, while Custodian, got 3.85%, all on the decline. Looking at the oil markets right now, it's not different from what we saw the last time, but we still need to look at it and see. The West Texas Intermediate crude right now on the market is going for $75 per barrel, and with a 0.69% gain. And Brent crude has gone for $77 per barrel with 2.19% decline. Melbourne crude was gone at 7.44, that is $77 per barrel, at a 1.75% decline, while Bonny Light, our Bonny Light has still remained at 78.62, but I have heard some stories about the fact that it's even gone down to 76, but we are yet to see the official thing shown. So we'll take the one we've seen officially, 2.84% decline. Well, that's just about that. That's just all about it for now. And so we'll return here to do a little talking. But looking at the topic of the program for today, it will show you something very special. We're talking about economic development and crisis. How would crises work with development? These are the things we want to look at. Is it possible for us to have both at the same time? We want to look at that, and there are killings. There are killings in states. All these helping the development of the economy. All these crises, as we have some in Benue, some in Plateau, just as we had again this morning, some people have been eliminated again in Plateau. These are the things we want to look at. These are not supposed to be the things we'll be thinking about at a time like this if we really truly, as a nation, want to develop. But what we're seeing, we'll talk about that. And so TOBA OWOJAIYE, my guest on the program today, will help me analyze it. So he sits here as an analyst this moment, and we'll say, welcome, TOBA.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Glad to be here again.
All right, thank you so much. We have seen the way things have gone on in our country for a while now. We all know that there is a name that Benue State has, the food basket of the nation.
Yes, sir.
And one keeps wondering these days, is the basket still intact? Or is the basket torn to shreds? Or is it just leaking in some areas? I want to look at this because of the fact that we know that there is Benue rice. We also know that there is Benue yam. We know that there is a lot, in actual fact, that comes from Benue. And there is this crisis. How can they both go together?
Thank you very much. You see, Nigeria's issues are very large and multifaceted, so you need to be able to know which of the factors is at play here. Sometimes you have 5 factors at play at the same time. Sometimes you have 3 factors at play. So this is why it is very hard to curb problems in Nigeria. The problems we have are political, the problems we have are economical, the problems we have are religional, and the problems we have are also regional.
Okay.
So when you have all these dimensions coming out to play, it now puts a lot of factors that needs to be put in place. I don't think that people are just being, like the Totif said some days ago, this is not farmer and header clashes. This is not my land is next to your land. No, this is a intentional ethnic cleansing of a land for religious, for territory gaining, for mining. These are the various factors that come into play. So Benue was a place, my wife is from Benue,
okay.
And of course these issues have been on, this is just the one that is getting the largest traction.
Yes, for now.
Her entire village has run away. This is more than 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh.
Yes, everybody's out of there. We did her dad's burial last year, and only 2 people could move from Makurdi with the corpse in a convoy to go and bury. Every other person had to stop in Makurdi, and only 2 cars with convoy had to go. These are the issues. That is a village that was bringing out every day about 200 trailers of foodstuff from that community for sale in Nigeria and in other neighboring African countries. Now those people are in IDP camps. The government now has to feed them, and instead of them being productive, they are now dependents and scattered. So these are the problems we're having. We are seeing land grabbing. We are seeing people intentionally trying to wipe out landowners. Let me take an example. Let us assume that this studio may be worth 2 billion, and it's a small land in a very prestige part of town. But imagine if you find lithium under this building. Then the value of this building moves from being 2 billion to 20 billion. And then the person who comes here now decides that, okay, this is a lovely place, but I want more value that is under the ground than the English was speaking here.
Yes.
So the person either has to find a way to convince us to move this 2 billion naira edifice away from this place, or the person decides to use insecurity to remove us from here. So this is what is going on. The people who want to do mining don't want to settle the villages. The villagers don't want to move. This is their ancestral home. So the issue is, instead of us to look for how to settle them, bring in insecurity, wipe them all out, they will all run. Once the place is insecure, nobody is going to go back there. If nobody goes back there, mining takes place. So these things are calculated. And these things disrupt the economy, disrupt the country, disrupt the peace of the country, disrupt the development. We can't eat what is being mined, because everything done illegally is taken out of the country. It's not shared with anybody. It's in the hands of a few. If they want to do this, what we expect them to do is to bring the minerals to the table. Open a company, open a corporation, Settle the villages that you want to use. Do CSR, build schools, put water, put hospitals. Are you following me, sir?
Yes.
Those are the things you should do. Set up a proper mining company there. Check the health of the people. Pay your taxes. Make your profits. And move on.
No,
but once you continue this way, 1 or 2 or 5 people will benefit, and then a whole nation will suffer, and an immediate community will be wiped off. This cannot go on forever.
It's a good thing you mentioned what the Tortive said, because looking at the economic values that you brought forth now,
Yes.
you see, is a much more serious thing than the normal thing people look at. They are killing these people are dying. It's because they want to get what is under the ground, and the people are not even, in some cases, aware of the fact that those things are there.
No, they are not even aware, not that.
So now that they do know, they don't even want to kind of enter into a kind of agreement with them, so that there could be a discussion that will lead to the owners of the land giving out some and taking the rest. They want to phase them out entirely and mine everything. Looking at this mine thing and mining is supposed to really be what will bring a huge sum of financial benefit to Nigeria. But we are not seeing much of it because of the fact that it's being done in secret or in secrecy, and little is mentioned about it. Once in a while there is one law that comes, and then one instruction from government authorities, and it should be stopped here, and after a while the clandestine activities of these miners continue. Not just only in Benue State, in Nasarawa State, we see it happen. In Zamfara State, it keeps happening. And I have had reason to do a tour of all the areas where you find such things up north. And it was a kind of an eye-opener that this nation has not even touched the surface of the wealth that is underground.
Yeah.
Yet we are looking for health, for wealth, we are looking for money. Just as you mentioned, 2 or 3 people get to be aware of it, and that ends it. They will hide it, keep it, and just do a kind of a secret deal with the people that are doing the thing, and they will let them have some money, and they will continue with their businesses. But lives are being lost on a constant note. That is also what can explain some of the things that we are seeing in Plateau today.
Of course.
Of course, there is the tin that is there. But apart from tin, because tin seems to be even the small one, there are other major natural resources on the ground in Plateau. Because just as Benue is seen as the food basket of the nation, Plateau, well, of course, everybody knows when you talk about tomato juice.
Yes.
It's because the Jos is capital of Plateau.
Yes.
There is tomato that is in the very best of forms you find in Plateau. There is potatoes.
Berry.
There is a berry. All the berries you can think of.
All the berries.
You find them in Plateau State. And a whole lot more. Even the vegetation, getting to find the vegetables of different kinds, different sorts. You find them in Jos and Plateau State. And thinking about watermelon, the first time I went to Plateau State, that was so many years ago, up to about 20 or so years ago, and I got there and I saw watermelon, I said, the size and the redness of the ones I found in Jos really wowed me, because I had never seen it like that. Coming from the southeast then, and looking at those things, I had to become a voracious eater all of a sudden, because I knew I would be living within a week, and so let me see how much of it I could take.
Yes, sir.
Because these are the things that we found we we have there already, and people come in and collect and go. There is a lot. There is ginger, there is garlic, all these up there, and even in Kaduna State.
Yes,
you find all these in Kaduna, and these are economic activities, economic seeds and fruits and whatever, the things that have huge economic value. But when we overlook these things, and there is the political side of the story, because there are four,
yes,
that there is the political and even the religious part of the story. They use this to use as a blanket to cover the main economic matter that we are here for.
Yes.
What do you think should be done about this? Because it's important that these things are mentioned. I remember too, talking about yam. There is yam in the south, is quite all right. But the first time I ate the yam that came from Benue, it was so beautiful to me. I liked it. And that's why up to today I still like Nasarawa State a lot.
Yes.
Because the yam from Nasarawa, to me, is about the best.
Very true.
But what do we do when the farmers can't go to the farm to do the production, whether it's doing it by the hoe and local way, or doing mechanized, farming? It's difficult to do because of these reasons that we've just seen, the things that are underneath that will make people forget about that there is life in someone else just as they have life, and they want to take away, snuff life out of the others because of financial gains. How do you see that?
That's it. Your question has over 3-4 things I would need to say, but let me start with one of them.
Yes.
The fact that mining is exclusive of the federal government as it stands today. However, some states have gone around it to create their own mining companies. Okay? But we are seeing a situation in which past generals are controlling the mining space. We saw Zamfara State declare a no-fly zone when they don't have airports. So what is flying? Is it which is flying?
I wonder.
So these are the questions we saw, and these are the problems we are having. We saw the former governor of Zamfara State come out with gold, put them on the table, did a press conference, and said this gold was mined in bars are worth 5 billion. And Wike was governor then, and he said, okay, since you now have gold, and you have been drinking our oil, now that you have gold, bring your gold to the table. Let's also have the
yes.
And also, that was the last time we saw anybody bring out any gold from the state again. These are the injustice in Nigeria that keeps plopping its ugly head up, and we keep trying to suppress it. So you want us to live on the resources of the South, and then every other area is hiding what they have. It will not all go well. It will fail and continue failing. Mining has to become official. There's nothing to hide forever. And you see people pet their heroes in their own places. It's easy to shout on the president. Why are we not having mining officially in Zamfara? Why is it not happening in Nasarawa? Nasarawa has one of the largest amount of mineral resources in the world. Taraba has the same. So we need to have these things structured. We need to have areas for farming. We need to have areas for mining. We need to compensate the people that are on mining lands and relocate them properly. There's nothing hard here. I have a friend who wants to put up 10,000 hectares of farmland in Enugu State. That farm is passing through 7 communities. But the government gave him a clear 80% of the people must be employed here. They must have their own dwelling areas. He put the conditions on ground for the people to be well taken care of.
While the business goes
on.
While
the business goes on and employs them.
There still has to be life.
And feeds the country. These are the things we need to bring on the table. The government has to stop illegal mining. There are allegedly, there are over 5 illegal airports in Nigeria. In Nigeria. Airports are just in the bush, just at the point where they can pick the resource and fly out. And they're not paying taxes. They're flying it out to countries where wholesome they make tremendous. Once this is a business, then how do you expect that person to do farming?
Of course, there will not be need for farming, yes, because that one will bring peanuts.
Once a person makes money from kidnapping, he just kidnaps one person and gets 5 million. Then how do you want him to go back to a job of 200,000?
Difficult.
He doesn't want to go back. This new lifestyle is bad, but it's sweet. And to his own end, he's making his money. So these are the things. Security is the first thing. The president is doing a fairly good work. I understand when people do not understand the size of the problem we have on ground. We had a military, an Air Force lady that was very good at shooting, and in Kaduna she died in the Air Force base. Somebody reversed and hit her.
Yes,
I'm talking about one of the best pilots.
Yes, we had in the
we had that issues. We've had soldiers being shot by other officers because of these issues. We are petting insecurity in regions. By religion, we are petting insecurity. We love it. We complain about it, but we are petting it. This tribe is keeping their own in case of the day of trouble. These other people are keeping their own, but they are saying they are fighting it, but they are also using it to bargain. So these are the issues. There are too many things on the table drawing Nigeria back. I want to use governor of Enugu State. The man is brilliant. To me, he's my best governor. I'm not from the state,
of course.
Okay, but he first of all put in security in the state. He went fixed the International Conference Center. Immediately he did that and put security in the state. Marriott started building 4 big hotels that will cover about 1,600 rooms. Immediately, Radisson Blu also went to take up a hotel space there. Immediately, other companies started coming. Immediately, my friend started putting up a farm. There is a system of governance that makes business people rush in a direction. And imagine if he is able to now provide steady power, you will see more businesses go in that direction. This is what we need governors to do. This is what we need.
He has even started the idea of providing power.
Yes, I'm aware.
There is a no-go state.
He's working on CNG. He's working on their airport.
Exactly.
This is what. Let's not forever keep shouting the president. This is what we elected the governors to do. To also do. Put your state in order. Use the resources. Another thing I must say: have aides that listen. I've been to over 8 states, and I would say one of the greatest things killing Nigeria is the SS and people around people in office who don't want any new idea, who don't want any new person around them. They're just okay with milking 1 million, 2 million. They will stifle every new voice so that the man listens to only them.
Only themselves.
And then 8 years down the line, the man has done nothing and they have done nothing. These are the issues we have on ground.
The only thing they have succeeded in doing is making sure that they have fat bank accounts and in different places and in different denominations of the money.
It's sad.
Well, we are still talking about economic development and crisis. How can we get developed and still have this crisis? How can that development continue? If the crisis comes in, especially what has to do with killings and all that follows, then that economic development takes back seat. In actual fact, not just does it take a back seat, it makes almost a U-turn, and all the things we have seen, we have had, all of it will begin to turn to something else altogether. And we need to have sustainable development, economic sustainable development, or sustainable economic development rather. We need to have all these. And how can they grow if we have crisis on a constant note? Who is it that will help? As even TOBA has brought forth the ideas here, and we're getting them, seeing them all. But the authorities that be, do they have enough political will to bring it to pass? These are the questions we want to talk about concerning economic development and crisis. But before we do that, let's take a pause and let you watch from the business news. This is a package from the business news.
Ahead of next month's Monetary Policy Committee meeting, a new research note by Renaissance Capital has revealed that Nigeria's banking sector is facing a severe liquidity crunch following the Central Bank of Nigeria's decision to impose a 50% cash reserve ratio, a move analysts say is at odds with the country's ambition of achieving a $1 trillion economy by 2030. A new report by investment bank Renaissance Capital has warned that the higher cash reserve ratio requirement, described as the highest in the world, has significantly restricted banks' ability to lend, threatening credit growth and turning market sentiment on Nigerian banks from bullish to bearish in the short term. According to Renaissance Capital, the CBN's simultaneous push for bank recapitalization to support lending capacity and its aggressive liquidity map up through the 50% cash reserve ratio presents a conflicting policy stance. Renaissance Capital estimates that Nigeria banks lost a staggering 840.2 billion naira in income in the 2024 financial year due to the new CR policy, surpassing the cumulative 864.1 billion naira loss under the old discretionary framework between 2020 and 2023. Exporters have stressed the need to redefine Nigeria's tourism sector, citing its potential to reduce the country's dependence on oil, boost foreign exchange earnings, and drive long-term socio-economic development. They made a call at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry Hotel and Tourism Group seminar on Wednesday in Lagos. The Executive Director of West African Tourism Organization, Hassan Zakari, said tourism and hospitality offered a key path to sustainable growth and jobs. Zakari quoted that the sector have the potential to tap into a global market, supporting over 41 million jobs, according to the World Travel and Tourism Council. Additionally, he said Nigeria had a unique opportunity to reshape tourism by embracing sustainable technology-driven models and moving beyond outdated approaches. He noted that the country's hotel revenue was projected to reach $1.67 billion by the end of 2025, representing a robust recovery and expansion from pandemic lows. He called for coordinated action from government, private stakeholders, and international partners to unlock its full potential.
Ooh. Oh. Well, it's all part of it. We need to welcome you back from that package that is from the business news, and we'll still go on. Thank you, Victor. We'll still go on concerning looking at the topic we have for the day. Looking at crisis, looking at development. Development on one side, crisis on the other. So development moves up, crisis hits it and it comes down. It makes more effort to go again. Crisis comes again and puts a stone, and it keeps happening. That's why all the countries that were developing with Nigeria many years back have all left us, and they have gone far because of the fact that what we have is good development and the crisis of killing and all that, crisis of kidnapping and all that, and all those things put together, puncturing the tires of the wheels that are carrying us, puncturing the wheels of the vehicles that are carrying the development projects in the country. How far can we go with this? How do we still remain relevant, economically speaking?
Yeah, I will still come back to those earlier points I made. You see, there's $17 trillion globally sitting on zero interest. Zero interest. It's not making 1% interest. $17 trillion. Now, that's money that will have loved to be making 3% or 5%. But the rich don't think emotionally. They don't think emotionally. So for a rich man, it's better for me to have $10 billion, and when I sleep and wake up, I still have $10 billion. There's no story that has happened. Than for me to bring that $10 billion to Nigeria and then set up a big place, and then 6 months later, 10 of your staff are kidnapped, your fence is broken into, your staff is killed, your lands are taken over. The investor cannot feel confident to come to a crisis reading area, except he too is there to make profit off the crisis. But if he's there to do business, he won't set foot in that setting. We need to take care of this once and for all. I will come to a point which this is an opportunity to talk to the leaders of this country. A sitting president or head of state annulled an election because the person who won the election was his religion, but was not from his region, and was not from the region of those that were in cahoots with him and his cabal. In this country, for you to know how deeply rooted and systemic our divisions are, the nations that have moved forward because they were not divided. Religion was not enough to divide them. Their regions were not enough to divide them. But in Nigeria, every single time power crosses from one side to the other side, for it to go back in the next direction, there must be crisis, there must be Boko Haram, there must be ICPC, there must be OPC, there must be IPOD, there must be ISIS.
Yes.
Hello? How does a country move forward like this? These are the issues we need to sit and talk about. We need to see the northerner and the southerner as brothers. We need to see the Christians and the Muslim as brothers. We need to see, I'm sorry to say, the Igbo man as our brother. We need to see that any tribe can rule Nigeria. We need to see that competence is the watchword, is put ahead of every other thing than others. We are seeing good governors now, a few good governors. The governor in Zamfara State looks very good. The Niger guy is focused on agriculture and is doing a good work. Yeah. These are the things we need to sustain. I don't care the parties they are in. Let them sustain governance. Let them be able to build steady developments. Let us come back to normalcy. We must. That is why I'm happy the president went. I'm happy the people cried out to the president to go. 100 Nigerians cannot die and it is normal. We can never accept that. We should never accept that norm. We should get to where, like USA, one single person passes, 5 people passes, and the whole country is hot.
Yes.
Value for life.
Value for life.
Value for investment. A girl was killed for blasphemy in Sokoto State, and Igbo people's properties in some other parts were burned. The girl is not Igbo. Yes. Sorry, I'm not Igbo. I'm just making points to what we have. So what is the connection between what she said and Igbo people's shop burnt the next day? This is commerce you are burning down. We need to have a country of leaders that think for all of us.
And when that happened, the religious leaders said it was wrong and all that something will happen. Nothing.
Politicians deleted their tweets because they know the country. There's a cosmetic country that we want to believe, but they know the real endemic country at the bottom of this perfume and lipstick that we have put on the top. So we need to move these layers and go to the roots of the problem and fix this country from the roots upward. These are the things that must be done. Businesses will thrive. There's a large population. We are spenders. We can run our economy ourselves. We are seeing what Dangote is doing with fuel, and he's doing well. He's not doing a perfect job, but he's doing well. And these are the things we need in like 5-6 other sectors, and we are good.
We have about 5-6 other factors. We are good. Even that Dangote you mentioned is going through a lot, if not for his weight, if not for his stamina, financial stamina, if not for his stature. That refinery would have been shut down because of the fact that some people do not want us to have development that way. They don't want us to stop importing petroleum products because there is something they are getting out of it, and on a constant note it will keep happening. It's a good thing that Dangote refinery came on, and it's a good thing that the president has also ensured that the matter of fuel for Naira is maintained.
Yes.
Because if not, it would have affected the people a whole lot more than even the way it was when we couldn't import. Because if you were doing still fuel for dollar, then it's the same thing he would have gone to bring from outside that he will still use. But now that he's come back to the normal, that is fuel for Naira, Nigerians are the ones being employed there. Nigerians are the ones who are doing things there. And so Nigerians are benefiting, not just these few that I refer to as the cabal, ensuring that fuel importation never stops. It's a good thing that we have him, but
yes,
we can't have only him. Where are the others? I have been told, of course, that the CNG plants are coming up. BUA is doing something about something in Kogi State and some other states, and some other people are still coming up. We are expecting to see these because these are the indices that will make economic development a reality.
Yes, sir.
If we don't have these things, if we do not diversify in all these things, and again looking into our agricultural industries, especially as you just mentioned, thanks to the governor of Niger State working effectively to ensure that farming is maintained, agriculture is maintained in the state. Again, the kidnappers and whatever they are called would also need to let it be. The money they have made on this is enough. Can't we move forward? We can still address them because I know that they still watch these stations. They still watch all these things in different stations. We can let it be at this. Let for development, let all these things be brought down, not just personal aggrandizement, because as you mentioned, someone kidnaps and gets 5 million. What is he doing with 250,000 anymore? But let contentment come. Let a reasoning for development come so that we can have it better. Well, we'll still continue. Before we take the next thing, before I get back to him to talk, to TOBA to talk, I have something else to show, and this is what we have as our news bit. Let's take it.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has confirmed that banks currently affected by forbearance measures are under close supervision. This comes as part of the regulator's continued effort to stabilize and strengthen Nigeria's banking sector. According to a press statement by the CBN's Acting Director of Corporate Communications, Akamasidi Ali, said the banks affected are under temporary regulatory support due to the economic aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, are subject to time-bound measures as part of a broader strategy to implement the bank recapitalization program announced in 2023. It added that the recapitalization program is designed to align with Nigeria's long-term growth ambitions, and it has already resulted in substantial capital inflows and balance sheet improvements across the sector. The Apex Bank noted that the current measures, which specifically affect a limited number of banks, include temporary restrictions on capital distributions, such as dividends and bonuses. These actions are intended to support the retention of internally generated funds and improve the overall capital adequacy of these institutions. It's noted that this move is in line with global regulatory standards. The statement reads, the measures announced apply only to a limited number of banks. These include temporary restrictions on capital distributions, such as dividends and bonuses, to support retention of internally generated funds and bolster capital adequacy. All affected banks have been formally notified and remain under close supervisory engagement. The central bank's approach also includes providing time-bound flexibility within the capital framework to allow for a smoother transition. Notably, Nigeria's capital requirements are more stringent than the global Base 3 minimums, which further affirms the CBN's commitment to maintaining a robust financial system. The CBN's actions are consistent with similar transitional measures adopted by regulators in other major global markets following post-crisis reforms.
Okay, we would have been taking a second one, but then we'll let it be at that. And then we'll move on to begin to round up what we have. Toba, I want to find out what you think should be the solution to all this now.
Okay, so as we're speaking, two things came to mind. A friend of mine went for a world fair, and an Indian man asked him, so how is production going in Nigeria? He said, we're doing a few things. He said, no, I mean, massive production. How's it going? He said, we really don't have that yet. The guy said, oh, good. Because the day Nigeria begins to produce, we are out of business. And they know that. South Korea has 6 refineries and has no crude. So they know that the day we get our acts right, they have no business. We have the population. You see, most people are deceived by the map of the world. I don't want to dwell largely on this. But the map of the world is so skewed. Africa is by far the biggest continent in the world. Seriously, go check it out on Google Map. Measure the distances. Africa is by far the biggest. You can fit 3 continents into Africa. Yes. So that's why for them, they prefer us to be the land upon which they sell their products.
The dumping ground.
Yes, the dumping ground. Because if you keep up with this insecurity, it will justify what they are saying. What they are saying is, Africa is not safe to put my business, but it is safe to take my goods there, give them to consume, and come back. So they take the raw materials from us, ship it abroad, make it finished product, and sell it back to us, and they'll be justified once we keep this insecurity and we don't have our own developments. We must, as a people, I know people say you can appeal to kidnappers to stop. I have never seen where that works. They must be forced to stop. Stopping must be the only option that they have. This is the only way to fight crime. This is the only way. I worked in the bank. The first thing the bank did was to employ the best hands. The next thing the bank did was to train them. The next thing the bank did was to have callovers and to monitor the cash you have, and to have spot audit checks, and to get you solid guarantors that you must bring. And if you steal money, they will go after those guarantors. These are the things the banks put in place that make bankers find it hard to steal, and then they pay them well.
Yes.
These are the systems. We must make sure that doing a legitimate business is far better paying than a corrupt, evil business of kidnapping. This must be made so. And when this is done, we will gain our country back, we will gain development back. We will see how our banks are spanning to other countries. GTB is in US, UK, and some other African countries. We
Access
are good.
As well.
Our Access Bank also, and other banks.
Bank,
our music is doing well. Our movies is doing well. Our social media is doing very well. We are brilliant. We are good. But we must get security right. We must get mass mechanized production right that takes place in Nigeria and has finished goods from Nigeria, from raw materials to finished goods, and sold here and then sold to other countries. There's hope for Nigeria, but things has to be done right. The president is taking some good steps, but he has to be bolder, and he has to draw more stakeholders and ensure this is done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
The way you brought it for TOBA, thank you so much. And I've always known that there is a way. It's just that there has to be a will. When there is a will, then the way can happen. And so from all we've shared today, we pray that the economic will, the political will of the government will be brought to bear on the economy, on the things that happen around the economy, so that the economic development will get better. That's one thing for sure, I know that we can do in this country. I have always stressed it, that once there was a mention of a ministry called Blue Economy.
Yes.
And I have not seen the impact of that blue economy on the economy today.
I agree.
And they should make strong impact. These are the things that we will talk about. I mean, at worst, let the ministry take our farmers and take them to Thailand to see the way they are doing their things and come back and practice. Because I remember that in Abia State some years back, the governor took some people, Governor OKECHUKWU, took some people to China to go and look at the way they build their shoes and all that. See the mechanized form of that shoe factory. And these fellows, shoe industry rather, these fellows went and came back with beautiful machines and all that. Today in Aba, there is huge development as far as getting to manufacture shoes is concerned. That is what one governor that saw reason for it to happen did. So another governor anywhere else can do, just as you mentioned the governor of Enugu State doing something now. And like that, we have people going about, and even the federal government going about doing things to ensure that things will work out well. The Ministry of Mines, and we still need to see a lot more. I remember that the minister said that with gold, we'll be making that in 2025, huge impact will be made with gold into the economy. We are yet to see it. I know that something is happening already, but please, may it be worked up the more. Let's see more of it. These are the things we need to talk about. The Ministry of Agriculture, and there is even livestock, Ministry of Livestock, something now.
Yes.
These are good things we need to do. They've gone to Brazil, they've learned some of the things that have to do with good farming, grazing, ranching. So these are the things we need to put together so as to help the economy to get better. Well, thank you so much, sir, for being here.
Thanks for having me,
It's
sir.
a big pleasure having you. I've been speaking or sharing the program with TOBA OWOJAIYE. Of course, he's an engineer, but he has a whole lot when it comes to talking the economy. So you've done it again today. Thank you, sir.
I'm grateful, sir.
And this won't be the last time, of course. We'll still want to have you around again. And let me say thanks to OKECHUKWU. I also want to say thanks to Victor Adelia. Thanks to Kayode Pamileri and Ephraim. I wouldn't forget that, Ephraim Omuna, and a whole lot of people all around us. And I wouldn't forget too that there is Felix Akinjagola. I will be taking my leave here, and I am also going with my assistant talking about Esther Abraham. This is OKECHUKWU. May the best happen to us all the time.